Well, hello. My name is Susan Hamilton, and you're watching OffBeat Business TV, listening to OBBM Radio, or listening to our on-demand podcast, the OBBM Network podcast on iTunes or your favorite directories. Welcome. We are serving the local family business information they need today. I'm excited to introduce to you DFW's mover and shaker when it comes to networking, Mr. Bill Wallace. Nice to have you here today,
Nice
sir.
to be here. Thank you for asking me.
You're listening to the OffBeat Business Show, rebuilding American business influence locally, nationally, and abroad, bringing you experienced insight for a strong, influential brand and successful life in business. Here's your host, Susan Hamilton.
We haven't talked since we did a big press with OffBeat Business Show, my early days, and we talked about networking. You were one of the highest rated shows we had. In that whole segment, networking was such an important thing to talk about, Bill. People loved it.
It still is. I mean, networking really is access. And if you look at the reality, access is the coin of the realm, because no matter how great of a doctor, a scientist, a salesperson, a manufacturer you are, without access, you really have nothing, because your access is truly your coin of the realm. And that's what people don't get sometimes when they're going into these, I'm going to develop this product, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. The question is, what are you going to do it with, and who are you going to do it with? So networking, as we talked before, networking is when two people meet. And there's an 80% chance that both of those cards that are traded will go into the trash can, and a 95% chance that one of them will. So what do you do to make it just a little bit different? Two people have met, change cards. There's a contest that we put on through C-Suite and Success North Dallas several years ago that a gentleman by the name of Westcott out of Houston won. But it was the 118. You've got 8 seconds to tell them who you are, and 110 seconds, the average elevator ride in New York City, to learn everything you possibly can about them and pique their interest. So in the last 15 years, now 16, I have not handed a card out, given a card away, even if you've asked me for the card without asking your permission. One corner of my card is cut off. On the back of my card, it says connecting the right people for the right reasons at the right time. It's different, and I say something to help him remember it, and I hand it two-handed. So that's networking. But what comes next?
Very good, yeah.
Next comes the net weaving, where you take two networks and you weave them together. Because you've got 5,000, I've got 5,000, our camera crew's probably got 20,000. Think about it, if we all come together and we start weaving those networks together, the power that we have in that. And then the ultimate level of the networking, Susan, is the servant leadership. It's when you start leading, anytime I meet you or someone else, my mind automatically goes to, who can I introduce Susan to that will better her and be a benefit to her? And it just seems to work for 30 years.
It absolutely does, and you've definitely proven that, no doubt about it. You know, it's interesting how you talked about that, because I've often told people that it's one thing for me to do business with you, but what I consider doing business is when my people are doing business with your people. Now we've made an impact. Now we've made a difference here that is that ripple effect that keeps going out into the community and really can change everything. It can change everything for positive good.
And we're not, at Success North Dallas, which I founded, we're now in our first year of our fourth decade, over 30 years ago. We said we're not out to change the world. We're out to make a difference, one genuine interaction at a time. Because without that one genuine interaction, that rock, to use your ripple analogy, going into the pool, the pond, nothing happens. And that's how people become world changers.
Yeah, it's so important to take that spot, and you have, Bill, as I was mentioning to you earlier, you've taken such a responsibility with the role that you have to influence audiences on a regular basis through Success North Dallas, now through the C-Suite Network, and the various ways that you're doing things, especially with this fabulous book talking about being a catalyst to success. I think it's very important because when I started networking, Bill, I was noticing how many of the same faces I was seeing on a regular basis.
Yes.
And when I would go out talking to the community, because that's the kind of person that I am in the business world, I tend to not just do things over and over and over again. I want to go somewhere no one else is going. And when I'd go meet those people, they weren't networking. What are they doing? Why aren't they there? Why weren't we getting them out? And I started realizing we've got to do a better job of pulling them in, recognizing the catalyst function. That is so important. Good for you for hitting on this. I know everyone's going to love this.
Well, in the book has been a journey. Wow. You want a journey? Write a book. It's been a
Right?
It has been a journey, but it's been a lot of fun. But in it, I talk about the 3 A's. And the 3 A's are accessible, approachable, accountable. And what do they really mean? Well, accessible, it's real simple. I've got to be able to find you. You want to do business with me? I've got to be able to find you. And once I find you, you have to welcome me into your space. You have to make me feel like I'm the most important. You really want me here, that eye contact. You can't be walking around with your head down, your hands in your pockets. Are you there just to have another piece of rubber chicken at lunch? Or are you there to make an impact and to make a difference? So you have to be approachable. And then the final A is you have to be accountable. Accessible, approachable, accountable, ... to that relationship that you're building from the first encounter. And rest assured, my friends, you don't know when that's going to happen. Just think about it in these terms. I pulled into the parking lot, I cut Susan off, I got out of my car, I walked right in, I didn't even acknowledge her. And that was my first encounter with her. And my second encounter is when she gets ready to interview me. I think it's going to be a very short interview. Kind of like, hi, Bill, goodbye.
No, it is. The thing of it is, what I see is there's an insecurity with people today. We've gotten so used to looking at our phones and being not very personable, doing the text instead of listening to each other's verbal cues, even and hearing their voice. We've missed something, and I think you can see it in the networking world where people are doing a good job of connecting and where they might be with their head down and uncomfortable. And what I would say to all of them, and I think you'd agree, try again. Go back out there with that confidence, because we need to see your confidence. The whole community needs to see that. It encourages someone else when you can hold yourself in such a way and smile. It gives, doesn't it just give them, like you said, that welcoming feeling. It lets them know they're welcome. So we've got to learn to put our insecurities behind us and move forward boldly, I think, if we're going to be an effective catalyst.
It's very interesting when you look at what catalyst really means. And a catalyst is somebody that promotes, creates action. And our qualifications for membership in Success North Dallas are very, very simple. Be a success in your own eyes. I have no right to define what success is for you. On your commitments, let's go back to the handshake. And be a giver. It's all about our fellow men and women. So when we see that person you just described, perhaps we should reach out our hand to them and take them with us on a little journey into the real world of networking and net weaving.
Oh, I was going to say, that's networking. That's what that is. That's making sure everyone comes along for the ride. That's the most important thing that we could do. We were talking about influence earlier. I don't know that we're capable of that kind of influence if we can't do that. I think it's you said it was a responsibility. What was the last thing you said? Approachability, accountability. It's part of one of those accountability factors, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think, when you think about it, accessible, got to be able to find you, approachable, welcome me in, make me excited to be here. And then accountable, knowing that you're not sure when that first encounter is going to occur. So what does that really mean? That means you're on 24/7. That means you're at this job of life 24/7. And life is a job, regardless how you want to look at it. And it's a job of faith, it's a job of spirituality, it's a job of our fellow men and women, not defining what belief systems are for anybody else, but you better have some of something more than just you to get through this crazy world today.
Yeah, that's no doubt about it. This is an interesting time to be alive. This is an interesting time to see the things that are happening cross-generationally, things that are happening in our community that really demand strong, successful business to address it. We can't be counting on government to be taking care of some of the social issues that we see. We need to make sure our businesses are built in such a way and our networks are built in such a way that we are actually making a huge difference to the things that we're seeing out there today. Engaging our younger generation is so important. And I've noticed you were talking about having some initiatives with the young people with Success North Dallas. You've always done a great job of having about 300, would you say about 300 people in that room?
180 to 225, 250.
I mean, just a full, I was counting tables one time and I was like, I think there's 300 people in here. You know, and you always have them stand up and introduce that, hey, they came out of college, they're looking for work, and encourage the older people to go meet them, go mentor them.
Absolutely. And as a part of this is the first year of our 4th decade, which is to me unbelievable. But as a part of that initiative, we are starting a Success North Dallas Emerging Leaders or Young Professional Program. And this is where we're going to get our talent, our upcoming talent, and engage for the next 25 years or 30 years. Wow. It gets away from me, Susan. You know, I thought this thing was going to last 5 years. I'd pay my dues. I was in the insurance business, set myself apart from the herd, and it took on a life of its own. It so did. So we have the Young Professionals as an initiative. Yeah. The book came out the first month of our 4th decade. And the book was a major initiative because it's a catalyst for Success North Dallas. Then we were starting bonus programs once a quarter after the meetings. We've already done one on cybersecurity, podcasting was another. We're doing one on social media. We're doing one on C-Suite, which we'll talk about in a moment. And the Hero Club, which we are aligned a part of. And then the final initiative we're doing is we meet 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning. And I recognize not everybody's a morning person. So we're going to start doing a happy hour every other month. Our first one was in celebration of our 30th anniversary. We put 200 plus people in the network bar. Our second one was on cybersecurity, the hot button.
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
And we've got so much to talk about. And I'll tell you what, friends, we're going to take a break and go to some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to hear more about what's going on with Success North Dallas. Are you excited? We sure are. You're watching OffBeat Business TV or listening to OBBM Radio or the OBBM Network podcast. We'll be back in just a moment.
The American business economy is positioned as it has never been before. Professional videography is a core element for attracting a higher level of engagement with the people group you need for significant impact. Now is your time to shine. My name is Bill Brock, owner of White Rock Films, and I invite you to a powerful opportunity in the marketplace, an opportunity to draw excited people to your events, an opportunity to showcase your ideas on infrastructure, an opportunity to become known as the industry authority and enjoy the associated benefits of a strong influential brand. Video highlights, video teaches, video puts a resistant market at ease, and video stirs the hearts and imaginations of your allies and strategic client base. White Rock Films offers full audio, video production for businesses ready to embrace the future, handling your project with professionalism, experience, and polished unlearned industry. My name is Bill Brock, and White Rock Films wants your business. See us online at whiterockfilms.com.
Hi, I'm the Yes Lady with Charla A, powered by Zeal Wellness. Zeal is my nutrition beverage of choice. It is 14,000 milligrams of superfood nutrition in a powdered formula that you can just shake it and take it out the door, grab and go, have energy, vitality, reduce your stress, some incredible health benefits. It's incredibly cost effective and it is going to change your life. I'd love for you to join me. Go to charla.zealforlife.com, charla.zealforlife.com. Join me in being healthy, focused, full of energy, tastes great. Zeal for Life.
And we're back. My name is Susan Hamilton. You're watching OffBeat Business TV or listening to OBBM Radio or the OBBM Network podcast on iTunes, your favorite directory, or the OffBeat Business app. I'm talking with Bill Wallace. He's telling us about what's going on with Success North Dallas and his book, all about being a catalyst for success, which he knows quite well. You were talking about bringing in the younger generation. You were also talking about starting some evening networking so that you could grab some people and get them involved that maybe aren't morning people.
Right.
To get them out there. That's important to be able to do. That, I think that just kind of goes right back to what we were talking about earlier, grabbing them and pulling them with us, right?
As one of my friends told me, he said, Bill, it only took you 30 years to learn that not everybody's a morning person. But we're going to do some incredible happy hours. We did one to celebrate our 30th anniversary at the Network Bar. We filled the place. We filled Al Bernays. We're going to the Haywire with Chris. There's a new restaurant opening in March on Preston Road. The lady's name is Marie Diaz, in Pursuit of Excellence. And she is opening a Latin fusion called Nuvo, which means star, Nuvo on Preston. And it's right at Preston and Plano Parkway. So we'll be the opening for that.
Oh, fun.
And we're having fun. You know, one of my life isms, my first one is, if it's not fun, don't do it. If you have to do it, find a way to make it fun first. You can. And that's what we're trying to do as we enter this fourth decade.
Well, it has. You know, life has got a lot of ups and downs. And I don't care who you are, you're going to experience them. You're going to experience them in your personal life, your family life, your business life, as you're building out your team. You find something to enjoy about this because they're staying in that grateful space and recognizing that just opens up possibilities around you like crazy. And clearly they have.
It has. And I was in New York City at C-Suite, and I was on a panel about networking, and then I was asked a question. So you have a lot of people on social media. How do you manage your social media? You don't want to talk to all these people. And my response was, I treat a reach out to me no different than I would treat a phone call. You took the time to call me, I will respond. Another person...
He is really good about that.
and I do. And another person said, but how do you know? I said, I take 10 minutes every single day, and everyone that has a birthday gets a note from me. It might be the same note, but gets a note from me. I look at their profile, and I do it on both LinkedIn and Facebook. And there's some that I will delete. I manage it that way. I have to be under 5,000. But I manage it that way, and I know that everybody in there will have at least one touch from me per year on birthday, job change, job anniversary. So you have a birthday every year. A lot of people have job changes. Always have an anniversary. So I'm getting 3 to 4 touches per contact by using that 10 minutes per day. And folks, it's a discipline. We know what discipline is, and sometimes we don't like it. But it's no different than scheduling the time for your phone work, scheduling the time to go to the gym. I schedule this time, and it's my time to manage my network and my time to be reminded of the fact that I haven't talked to Susan in 6 months. I need to call her. And then I look at high leverage activities. And one of my high leverage activities is a group puts on a happy hour at the Ritz-Carlton here in Dallas, the first Tuesday of every month. If I'm in town, I go to that because there's 20 to 30 people that I can see at that one event and make a touch with, and then go on about my merry way. But it's also a fun event. So I look for activities like that, that I can maximize those touches. And I seldom, if ever, go to something like that alone. I always have somebody with me that I'm introducing, and that can be a buffer. Sometimes we need buffers. that can pick that conversation up while I maybe move on to another conversation.
That was good, and I think those were some of the top points that you made in our earlier. Go back onto the OBBM Network podcast in the OffBeat Business app and find that interview with Bill Wallace, because that was so interesting. That was a good point. We have to learn how to manage the people because it can be overwhelming. You can get pigeonholed. You can get stuck in a conversation when it's time to move on, and you want to be that good steward of the time. Not everyone understands all of that.
Well, we actually have people at
Right.
Success North Dallas whose job is to break up cliques. So our people circulate with new people all of the time.
Oh, very good, very good.
And it works. And we try to keep our attendance around 60% members, 40% guests. So there's always a flow through of new people to experience what we're experiencing at Success North Dallas. It may or may not be a fit for you. It's like I say, never meet a stranger. Always meet somebody, never meet a stranger. Worst case scenario, you'll know who you don't want to be around. Best case scenario, you might find that world changer that will change your life.
I'll tell you what, you get encouraged though, because I can pretty much guarantee that when you go to Success North Dallas, you're going to run into somebody that you know. If you're out there networking, you'll know somebody there. It won't be a cold room.
No.
You'll meet someone there, and you're going to learn something. One of the things that started me attending Success North Dallas was the types of guests that you have and the types of things they talk about that aren't being talked about on mainstream news media, things that really do matter to us, that I was able to learn from speakers that had tons of authority in this space that were not being talked about at all, and insight that helped us understand some of the things in our city, some things in our nation. You've got something coming up about R.L. Thornton talking about Dallas. Did you tell me that's coming?
That's coming.
Oh my goodness, check this out.
We had Michael E. Gerber, the author of E-Myth. I believe he authored it in 1986, and it's still one of the top 5 best-selling business books. We had him in from California. He actually joined. They fly in for the meeting. This is unbelievable to me. But so through Michael Gerber, I met R.L. Thornton, and I'm a native Dallasite. This is my turf. This is my home. But R.L. Thornton has a highway named after him. He was vice chairman of Chase. He was one of the people, his family built Dallas. And so this gentleman is R.L. Bob Thornton III. And he said, I need to take you to lunch. We went to Sevy's, which is a great lunch place here. And after 2 hours, we both had to leave. I listened to this man tell stories of Dallas for 2 solid hours. I was laughing. I had tears in my eyes. And I looked at him and said, would you come tell stories at Success North Dallas? And he said, absolutely so. And that's the 3rd week, Wednesday of April. We meet the 3rd Wednesday of every month at Prestonwood Country Club on Preston Road in Dallas, Texas. And this last month, we presented the Dallas Police Officer of the Year Award. Susan, that was the 17th year, and we got on CNN Worldwide. It's magical. This month, March the 20th, we have the brand new CEO of Club Corp. Club Corp being the largest holder of country clubs and resorts in the world. And his tag is Club Life. So the talk that we put together is Club Life, the new face of Club Corp. And if you're a golfer, if you're a tennis buff, if you're an athlete, if you love country club, you need to, or just clubs in general, this would be a great meeting for you. And you see me getting excited about it. We've never paid a speaker or their expenses, and we've had people from India, the head of Scotland Yard out of the UK, Vancouver, Mexico, Chris Kennedy Lawford.
But they always get a value out of it, because are you still using Honey Wines?
The people
Right.
in the room, they come not because of me, they come because of the people in the room, and then we treat them like a king
really
or a
do,
queen
yeah.
in our speaker gifts, and we make it fun. You know, there's a quote in my book, somebody had asked me a question about, Bill, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty? And I said, I'm neither. I'm a glass overflowing.
Yes.
So I can touch more people. And that way, more people touch me. Just like you've done, Susan.
Well, you know, Bill, thank you. It says a business can be proud, a business you can be proud of is one that elevates highly successful people to move to the next level while allowing equal opportunity for all. There are some companies out there that are doing a fabulous job. I think for our market, the local family business, they need to see examples of how that's done today. That we have to be creative, and going to networking events and talking to other people and seeing how things can be done. It's really going to expand your mind on things that you could be doing, ideas and cultures you can incorporate within your own community. Another thing you say is you have a business you can be proud of when you're excited to share the ownership of your vision with other people or make them a part of it. A lot of people don't have a vision for their business. They simply are what they are. And I couldn't agree more that when you're excited about it and you have a vision for it, you're going to make that happen, but you won't do it in a vacuum. You're going to need your peeps. If you're not out there networking, make sure that you get connected with Success North Dallas. Now, you heard everything that Bill told you about how to find them, but don't worry if you didn't have a chance to write that down, because I'm going to have all of that.
I bet you will.
I will. That'll all be available underneath this podcast, and in the video, you'll be able to find both of those in the OffBeat Business app, as well as the OffBeat Business app event calendar, where you'll be able to find direct links that'll take you right over to Success North Dallas. Meet some people, find out what's going on in the community, find out more about the community you were probably raised in, and go and share that excitement with someone else. And as Bill mentioned, bring a friend. Share this video, get this information out. Is there anything else that I can make sure our audience
There's
knows?
one last thing.
Yes, sir?
And I close every talk I give around the U.S. and every Success North Dallas meeting this way. May you do what you love to do with people you love to do it with, on purpose. God bless and Godspeed, and thank you for this opportunity to visit with you for these moments.
You've been watching OffBeat Business TV or listening to OBBM Radio or the OBBM Network podcast. Until next time, this is Susan Hamilton.
You've been listening to the OffBeat Business Show. Find our lineup, podcast, magazine, event calendar, and sponsor information, even our membership directory, all available on the OffBeat Business app or at offbeatbusiness.com. Download the OffBeat Business app today.
Take this for me, but